Okay, so recording is started. Recording files make pedtanu. Right now, I don't have a big bandwidth to download and again upload there. Like as and when I have enough space, I will. But meanwhile, pay attention to this. Try to practice all those related things. So coming back to this now. Okay, so this is the terminal where we are, and as you can see, these are the various files so that we have. So let us go into the one of the cricket related thing today. So T20 International is there. T20i-records.txt. As you can see there. So in order to display that, you can say T20 like this, and it is going to display all that. It is a very big line there. Each line constitutes the details about cricket players. Player name, span, that years in which the player has played, number of matches, number of innings, number of not outs, how many runs, highest score, average, balls faced, strike rate, how many hundreds, how many 50s, how many zeros, how many fours, how many sixes. This is this thing. In this, it so happened that probably Virat Kohli has scored maximum number of runs in T20 International so far. So the runs scored here, as you can see, is 3159. So that is the maximum. This is T20 International. So the runs scored when they play against the other countries. So that's what is the details here and all that particular thing. Okay. So when you have like this, so how many records are there in this? If you want to know, already we have seen there is a command called word count, right? Word count followed by T20 International. You are getting 93 lines. 93 lines means 93 records. But remember, the first line talks about the header. It's what is the field names and all that. So in other words, there are 92 player details are there against the T20 this thing. And 1581 words are there actually, and then 7033 characters are there within this particular. So this way you can use, in fact, the head command, as we know, is going to return the top 10 lines. But if you want to have like not top 10, something else also can be done, right? So we know that particular thing, right? So head followed by, for example, hyphen you have to give, like whenever you are interested in different number of lines, like let us say 5 lines, right? Head followed by 5 lines. So it's now giving 5 lines here. 5 lines means naturally header followed by 4 lines. So altogether 5. So these commands have no idea about what information is there and all that and all that. So what all that these commands have, the knowledge is that they can work on any text file. Any text information, if it is there, they can work on such kind of things. So it is our what it is understanding that because every line stands for one record, so there are 4 records. First line talks about the header, this thing. So this way you can extract anything. Similarly, if you want to have a look at the last 10 lines kind of thing, or different from 10 lines, you can always give minus followed by, this is my minus means it's not number negative and all that, it is hyphen actually. So in Unix or Linux, all the commands can have more number of features. So there will be only one default behavior. But if you want to what it is, get the feature different from the default, you have to use the option. So hyphen followed by whatever option in which you are interested. So right now, let us say 5 lines of this particular thing. So you say T20 kind of thing. So these are the 5 lines here, tail minus 5. So from this particular thing. So whatever, these are the names. If you want to actually access, as you can see here, every line contains so many fields. You are not interested in all the fields, let us say, right? So how are you going to select the fields of your choice? Already in the earlier class we have talked about. You can cut a portion of every line and then display that particular portion. You can cut either based on the character positions or you can cut based on the field positions. So field delimiter here is the tab, right? So if you want to cut, let us say you want to first see what it is, the field names. Field names are player. Yes, I'm interested in the player, let us say. Span, I am not interested. Matches, I am not interested. Innings, not interested, let us say. Only runs. Player, runs, and let us say the average. Player, runs, and average. Let us say. So that means the first field, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, field number 6, and then average in case you want 8. 1, 6, and 8. 1, 6, and 8, you are interested. In which case, the command to extract particular what it is fields or the command for that is cut command. Cut, and you want to now extract based on the field position, not based on the character. So you say minus F. But before that, you will have to specify what is the delimiter that is being used here. So in this case, it so happened it is a tab there. I think it should work most likely. We can always specify minus D followed by a tab character. So in case it is something different, let us see first to begin with. So and after that we can always look at it. Okay. So minus F followed by what are the field positions? Field number 1. I'm interested. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. Average. Average is this. And in case you are interested even in the number of hundreds, so 8 is average, 9, 10, strike rate, and then 11. 11 talks about number of hundreds. So after specifying all this, you have to give the corresponding file name. File name is this. Now it is going to actually give all the details these particular fields of all the candidates. So it is going to run through very quickly. So let us actually use a pipe symbol and then less. Now you can see here player, runs, average, and hundreds. So Virat Kohli has got 0 hundreds, whereas RG Sharma, Rohit Sharma has got 4 hundreds there, and others there, and all that particular thing. So like this, you can extract the fields of your choice by using cut command. Similarly, you can extract the records of your choice by using head command or tail command. So whatever records that you are actually interested in this particular entity. So when you do like this, you want to save this particular information into a file. You are always getting onto the screen. You want to save it. You can always redirect. If you want to save the output of this, there is something called redirection. And this redirection facility is provided by the shell, by the bash here, born again shell or whatever. So when you say greater than, that means the output of this cut command is going to be stored in the following file, right? So I can specify a different file name for that or whatever, T20 International, and a summary here, not the full details. So I will call it as yes for summary, summary followed by records and all that. Let us specify that, no issue. Hyphen followed by rec, records.txt, like this. So now instead of displaying on the screen, it's now storing onto that particular file. This is what is called as redirection, output redirection. You are storing the output of this particular command into a file so that that file data can be used whenever you want. Similarly, input redirection also is possible. If a command is reading data from a file, is reading data from the standard input, right? This is what is called a standard output redirection. Similarly, standard input also can be redirected. The command can read the data from a file instead of reading from the standard input from the keyboard. So now if you see actually what is there in T20, all that, in this particular, yes, so you can see only this particular cut portion is actually available. So this is how you can use the cut command. So head is there, you know it. So I also want to actually give the line numbers to each one of them, let us say, right? I want to give the line numbers to this each one of them. So in which case, what you can probably do is here itself, cut minus F1 followed by all that. You pipe it so that the output of this becomes the input for the following command, NL, and NL will add line numbers to each one of them. And now the output of this entire command is the output of the NL actually. So when you do like this and then redirect, now if you display what is there in less, you will also see the line numbers there. Line number 1, 2, 3 and so on like that. So, so there is a purpose why we are doing all this and so on. I will explain that. But now this file contains both the line numbers as well as the other details, whatever are there as a part of it. Now we are already familiar with about how to extract what you call top 10 lines kind of stuff and all that. As you can see now, head default is 10 lines you're actually getting. Similarly, tail also, by just simply giving in this particular manner, it's going to display these lines. So it's displaying the lines from 84 to 93, altogether 10 lines. The last 10 lines it is displaying actually. The last 10 lines it is displaying as a part of it. Whereas you are interested, let us say sometimes in the middle lines, probably line numbers, let us say from 20 to 30. I'm interested. How are we going to handle this? Line numbers from 20 to 30. By using a combination, whatever, some kind of a combination mechanism. Head, you know it, it's going to display the top lines. Tail will display the bottom lines. Whereas you are interested in displaying the middle lines. So what is the likely thing? Now I am just saying line numbers from, let us say, 21 to 30. Line numbers from 21 to 30. Those 10 lines I am interested. Can any of you suggest the answers for this particular question? Line numbers from 21 to 30. What is the likely command that will help you? Some of you might have already studied even in B.Tech also, but with the background, whatever that we have already discussed, you are familiar with commands, you are also familiar with redirection, and you are also familiar with the pipe symbol. The pipe symbol will, what it is doing, it is collecting the output of the previous command, the command before that pipe. The output of that becomes the input for the following command. That is what the pipe is going to do it. Now my question to you is, what is the command that will help you to display the line numbers from 21 to 30? Any answers? I'm just waiting for your answer. Some kind of answer. Did you understand the question?
Yes, sir.
మరి ఆన్సర్ ఏంటి? కంప్లీట్గా రాయాలి. హెడ్ అని ఏదో టైప్ చేశారు, బాగానే ఉంది. Or you can even speak also, no problem. మాట్లాడచ్చు లేదా అక్కడ టైప్ చేయాలంటే టైప్ చేయాలి. మీరు ఏం కమాండ్ చెప్తే ఆ కమాండ్ నేను టైప్ చేస్తాను ఇక్కడ. Then we can verify whether your answer is how close it is to the expected solution. So we are interested from line numbers 21 to 30. That means, so we require some command, right, by which line numbers from 21 to 30 becomes the output. So if you use a head command by any chance and try to display all the 30 lines, so it will display only those 30 lines as a part of it. Right? For example, NL command is not required. It's already there, right? NL command will only add the line numbers, but it doesn't pick up the line numbers of your interest. So when you do like this, head and చెప్పి ఇక్కడ మనము when you give something like a hyphen followed by 30, because 21 to 30 కావాలి అంటే 30 lines వరకు మనకు అవుట్పుట్ రావాలి. Minus 30 అంటే it displays all the first 30 lines. Line number 1 right up to line number 30. All of them are going to become the output of this particular thing, as you can see now. If this becomes the output of that, so what is the next command on this? If you do it, you are going to get line numbers from 21 to 30 on this output, right? Which command will give you the line numbers from 21 to 30? Tail command. So when you consider only this as a part of the output, so the last 10 lines, 21 to 30, are the last 10 lines, right? So you have to issue this particular command and use a pipe so that this becomes the input for the next command. And when you use a tail here, because right now you are asking only 10 lines, 21 to 30, so 10 lines, default tail also is good enough. You don't have to specify minus 10 and all that. So when you do like this, as you can see, the output is 21 to 30 line numbers. So already we have added, line numbers are already added to the to each line there in the file itself. You have it. If you don't have line numbers there and all that, we can always use the NL command. We have already used that command, in fact. So if you again use another NL on top of this, you will get once again the line numbers. So you are going to get once again as a part of it. Right? So all these things are simple. Only thing is you have to start thinking. So whenever you are following the class and all that, if you ask questions, that kind of stuff, you are going to get all those things. This is one way of looking at it, right? So what are we doing? We are passing on the output of the head to the tail. So instead of that, probably, we can also use a tail command first and then try to do that. What is to be done if you have to use the tail command? So if there is any mechanism by which from line number 21 onwards you want to display, not the last 10 lines or last 20, last 30, we don't want to do any calculation. But do we have a mechanism by using which you want to display all the lines from a specific line onwards? From 21 to the end of the file, you want to display. from 21 to the end of the file, let us say. Not necessarily up to 30, but 21 to the end. So you have such a thing there. So when you use the man followed by tail, so these are the things. Output the last part of the files. Tail, options followed by the file. When no file or minus is given, standard input. That's what it is doing actually. As you can see, minus C output the last number of bytes, or minus C plus num output starting with a byte and all. So there are so many other options as well. So minus n output the last number of lines instead of the last 10, or use minus n plus number to output starting with line number so and so. So you have an option like minus n followed by just a number. If you specify, that many last lines will give. Whereas if you give minus n followed by plus followed by a number, it will display from that line onwards. So as you can see now, so for example, tail and then minus n followed by 21 if you give, and then T20 whatever on this, and then let us actually pipe it. So I'm giving tail minus n 21, right? That means it's going to give you the last 21 lines. It is starting from 73rd line, and from there onwards you have 21 lines right up to the end as it. It's starting from 73rd line. It's giving the last 21 lines as a part of it. How to know that whether it's giving only 21 lines or not? By issuing even WC, word count. The output of that is given as an input to this. See, only when you try to apply all your knowledge on various commands in different areas, then you are comfortable, right? You can use you are using them in general wherever it like. So you are right now interested not in what you call last 21 lines, but rather all the lines from 21st line onwards. For that you have to use plus here, right? So all these commands have certain syntax and you have to follow that. So that's what you are doing. So minus n followed by plus 21, when you do like this, it's going to display all the lines starting from 21 till the end of the file. So when you use now a word count, it's displaying 73 lines now, because from 21 right up to the end. So you have as many as 73 lines there. Similarly, instead of that, if you use less symbol here, you will find 21 onwards. Line number 21 onwards. Now can you give like how to display from 21 to 30 by using this logic? By using this logic, can you give what is the command to display from 21 to 30? By using tail command first, and after that whatever you want you do. Earlier solution we started with head. Output of that head passes on to the tail. So what is the answer now? So tail minus n plus 21 is displaying, as you have seen, is displaying like this, line numbers from 21 onwards till the end. But you are interested only from 21 to 30. So what is the action now? What is the command? Same question, like question is, I want to display line numbers from 21 to 30. Already we have done that by using head and then something followed by a pipe and then tail. That is one solution. I'm looking for another alternate solution to display line numbers from 21 to 30. For that, right, so tail command we have seen. The output of the tail is now displaying lines starting from 21 onwards, but not limiting to 30. It's going even beyond that. But I am interested only in lines from 21 to 30.
సార్ టెయిల్ కమాండ్ మళ్ళీ సెకండ్ టైం కూడా యూజ్ చేయొచ్చా? అంటే $tail -n +21 ఫైల్ నేమ్ పైప్ సింబల్ టైల్ అని అనొచ్చా?
అదే ఇప్పుడు అక్కడ ఎక్కడా లేదు కదా. లైక్ the commands like what are you doing actually? It is a shell that is helping you to execute the commands. It is a shell that is helping you to execute the commands. So a prompt, $prompt ఏదో వస్తుందంటేనే shell is helping all that. Single command type చేసి ls అని ఎంటర్ కొడితే కూడా it is executing the command ls. అది ఎక్కడ ఉంది? ఆ ls అనేది it is executable file. Somewhere in your path it will be there. It is going to load that and run that and all that. Similarly, it is a shell that is helping you to connect two commands by using a pipe symbol. Shell doesn't put any restriction. Like ikkada ee command vaadali, akkada aa command vaadali. No restrictions there. You can have any command in the beginning, the first beginning, and after that a pipe and another command. Only thing is they should all be filter commands. Filter commands ante normal ga. So the filter commands are likely to take the data from the standard input, do some processing and generate the output. Such commands are called as filters. They read the data from a input, standard input, and generate the output onto standard output. So the tail command, you have just now we have issued a head command. Output of that is passed as input to the tail. You have seen the answer. But now you are using now the tail, like tail is there as a part of it. Tail -n +21, right? And then all that. Now you can see it is displaying all the lines from 21 onwards. But you want to limit that to 30 lines only. Right up to 30th line. Other things I don't want. Right? So what is the action to be done now? Em cheste adi only up to 30 vastayi. Head command. As simple as the head command. Right? So when you issue, all these things are simple actually. Only thing is, only when you actually freeze your mind. ఇక్కడ ఏదో చాలా ఉంది, ఇదేదో బియాండ్ మై కెపాసిటీ, అందులో ఏమి లేదు యాక్చువల్లీ. సో వాట్ ఆల్ దట్ యు ఆర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టెడ్ ఈస్ టు లిసన్ ప్రాపర్లీ. అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ ఫాలో ఇట్, ఆస్క్ క్వశ్చన్స్. అండ్ whenever you are following, it's okay, it's experiment. So the question now is, there will be different solutions for the same problem when you properly understand. Right? Either this way or the other way. So now it is possible for you to extract any portion of a file, any part of those lines from this line to this line and so on, like this. So essentially you are trying to learn the what it is, the behavior of various commands, and you combine them. So that kind of stuff. For example, so right now in all these things you have the line numbers there and all. Even if you don't have the line numbers also, still it understands. Essentially, for example, you give T20 and then all this. So no yes there, T20 international, and after that, like straight away move on to like this. So now you are working on the original file. T20 international having not the summary here, but rather very big file. Right, with all the columns, all the other columns there and all that particular thing. So line number 21, J.C. Butler, right, up to M.N. Samuels. That's what it is. So when you apply like this now, so as you can see head, and it may actually run through a lot of this thing. I'm using a pipe symbol there again. So here also, as you can see, now you are working, you are applying on a larger file, having more columns, all the columns. But still you are getting the same output. J.C. Butler and going up to that particular thing, because they represent the same line numbers. So it's not using line numbers there and then display. It is bluntly going based on the that particular line, like after reading that many lines and all that particular thing. Right? So either this way you can, or the other way also you can extract lines of your choice. So you have total control on the file. You can extract a portion of every line. Like that you can apply on all the lines, or you can extract only those lines of your choice by using all that, and so on in that particular manner. So okay, so all of you are following what's going on. So
Yes,
somebody
sir.
said sort command and all that sort. See, I don't ask questions, right? On which I have not talked about much and all that. So it is very simple. Whenever I ask any question, it means that the question is based on what I have already explained, right? So the question is only to know whether are you listening to the class or not. So it is a simple mechanism. Anyhow, so now let us use the sort command also, and then see what all we can do with that particular thing also as a part of it. So let us see here. Sort command. For example, like you take the summary kind of thing. You let us take the summary version. Display that. Less followed by T20 summary of that. Right. So these are the things what we have. So player runs average 100 and all that. So no doubt Virat Kohli has scored maximum number of runs. It's already sorted based on the runs actual. So no issue. No issue there as a part. But if you want to find out who has the better average, right? Who has the best average compared to the other people, that means you have to now sort on the third column or third field. Sort on player, you are going to get alphabetical list of the player names. Sort on runs, you will get based on that. Sort on average. Similarly, sort on hundreds. We should be able to do such kind of simple operations so that day-to-day life you can like process such kind of things. So how to sort the data, right? So the command for that is sort. No doubt, sort is what it is. So right now summary. So what is there in the summary? Like let us see first. Less followed by this thing summary. You also have the line number also there, right? You also have the line number as the first column. So that's why line number, player, runs, average, and then hundreds. So that means you want to sort on, let us say the best average who has got it. I would like to know. That means first field, second field, third field, fourth field. On the fourth field, you will have to sort. So the command for that is sort, no doubt. We just simply give sort. So what it does, let us take a look at it. So nothing else, simple sort, right? And then give it. So now what do you see here? It is sorting the entire line. Entire line is considered as if it is a string, and it is comparing all of them. So when you do like this, you have all spaces and all that. So one. So in the beginning, you are getting all the lines starting with spaces followed by one, like this. Here, that many number of spaces followed by another one, then two and all. It's basically sorting based on what it is, alphabetical order. It is arranging all the lines in alphabetical order, ascending order, basically. So if you want the same thing in the descending order, there is another option called -R. Already మనం ఇంతకు ముందు కూడా వేరే కాంటెక్స్ట్ లో చూసాం. సో సార్ట్ కూడా చూసినట్టున్నా -R reverse the sense of comparison so that it will sort in descending order, highest first. So as you can see now, 9 is the highest. So space followed by 9 or whatever, 9-3, 9-2, 9-1 and so on in that particular this. How is this going to be useful? We cannot say. But if you remove the line numbers and then sort it, then it's going to sort based on the what it is, the alphabetical name of that particular thing, right? So that is also possible, right? So how can we remove the first this thing So let us try to remove and try to sort based on the name, because that is more meaningful, not based on line numbers here and all. So that like what we have to do now, so we have to cut based on the field position. You are not interested in the first field, but remaining thing. So you can say second field onwards. So when you say two hyphen and you don't specify any field number, it means second field to all the remaining fields of which file. So you have to specify that. You have to specify that particular thing. So you are now cutting all the fields from second till the end on this particular thing, and then output, and then output. This to the this particular thing. And then here now sort doesn't require any file name here, because sort now is sorting the input coming from cut. Look at all these commands. Only first command is actually specifying the file name, so that it is reading the data from that file and then echoing the fields of your interest. But then that becomes the input for the following command, so that you don't again say sort followed by the file name. Now sort is taking the data from the input coming from the output of the cut command. Now when you use like this, sort like this, you can see it is sorting based on the alphabetical order of their names. So this is more meaningful. So if you want to search for Chris Gale and all that, you go up to C and then say, yes, Chris Gale is there and all that particular. So like this, you can do any kind of operations by using a combination of the commands there and all that particular thing. Now that like we want to sort based on the average and all that, right? That's what we wanted. So average in the sense. So let us take this total thing as a entity. First field, second field, third, fourth. Fourth field you want to sort. So you say sort. Right now field delimiter is tab, so no issue. Otherwise probably you are going to, let us see what's going to happen. After that we'll give the explanation. So if you want to sort based on a particular field, how are you going to specify which field you would like to sort on? So that is a tricky thing. So if you want to know that particular thing, you can see here man followed by sort. It's going to give you a big one. On a particular field you want to sort, right? So you can see month sort, numeric sort, minus and reverse the sense of comparison, check there and all that. Match, minus O, output the file. So minus T field separator. If you want to change the field separator, you can use SEP instead of non-blank to blank transition or whatever. Stable and all that. Minus U unique with all that particular thing. So it's just going by. Not much explanation is given. Let me via a key definition and all that. Files from this particular thing. I'm just looking for how are you going to specify a particular field, right? So I want to show you in this whether you have it or not. General numeric this thing, mandatory argument description. I think he has not given much here. Actually, unfortunately, it's not a complete kind of thing. Ignore leading blanks, dictionary order, ignore case, general numeric sort, ignore non-printing, month, human numeric, numeric sort, random source, reverse, word is there, version sort, batch size, match at most thing. Only check, compress, and debug this, files 0, read input from the files, all that. Sort via a key definition gives location and type. Here, this key, basically minus key, right? Sort via a key. Key definition gives location and type. So you can specify all that. This is the one, but he is not giving the explanation of that and all that. You cannot get to know what it is and all that. So let us see like how we can use minus k, right? Let us use how we can use minus k. Sort. So by default, it is sorting, it is considering the entire line as a record for comparison purpose. But now you want to consider only a part of a field, right? So minus here, minus k. Now you want to sort on 1, 2, 3, 4. Let us say 4, you say, minus k4. That means fourth field. Means fourth field, that's what you mean by. And then like this. This is how you have to experiment and learn. And then pipe it to less. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know, but let us see. Key means like one of the field is going to act as a key. And then pipe it to this. So if you see now, it's doing something random, right? Definitely it's not doing what we are supposed to do it. One possibility is that it is not considering the delimiter as a proper thing. So use the proper delimiter. So minus t followed by tab character you want, right? So for that you can actually specify double quote followed by reverse slash t, like this. Now let us see what it is going to do it. It's not doing anything at all. Multi-character tab and all that, it is actually saying maybe single quote. But here a space also can be given, no issue. But it is multi-character minus k4 and all that is fine. Like this. It should actually minus t or delimiting character we have to specify. Tab you want to do that. So it is somehow not allowing. Let me just see here. T how to use, minus t how to use that. Minus t field separate. Use sep instead of non-blank to blank transition. Minus field separately equal to sep, you can say. Or just simply minus t followed by whatever you want. We should be able to do that. So somehow it is not considering a tab character. So how to handle that is a question here. Sort minus t. Okay. Let us see otherwise, like minus field separator is one way of looking at it. Minus field separator equal to field separator correct anadi field hyphen ఇవ్వాలి అక్కడ field separator then equals ఇక్కడ ఒక ఇది ఇవ్వాలి then equals followed by all that. Trouble ఉండొచ్చు యాక్చువల్ గా it is multi character tab is not there అంటుంది somewhere multi character tab we can use what you call online internet help. We can always use it because they change from versions to versions. Unfortunately, sometimes this happens. So it's actually giving all these things. This particular thing. Sort word, version, all that. Minus k is giving the same. K కాదు కదా మనకి t కావాలి. Use sep instead of non-blank to blank transition. minus T, non-blank to blank transition, table and all that. Field separator equal to use step instead of non-blank. Okay, field separator, all that. Okay. So what we are doing is okay. So this is very unfortunate. Anyhow, so what it is actually doing is not expecting a double quote there and all that. So it is like this, minus minus field separator equal to directly reverse slash T is one thing. The other thing is you can also use, in fact, minus T also. Minus T. Both are one and the same, except that probably this is not somehow very unfortunate. Like the design is not that good. But still, let us see. Like you are getting some output, I think. Still, you are not getting the desired output. Uh, let us see. 4, we said 3, you give it. 3, you get 35 and all that. No, it's not giving even there as a part of it. I think even now, it's not doing what we are actually expecting. So let me actually do one thing. There is a trouble with the delimiter, field separator and all that. That's the main problem we are actually right now facing. Let me just, sorry. Okay. So I will just simply convert the output. So there are different ways, but probably let us see like what it is going to do. There is a command called tr, right? That you can use to translate every individual character to some other character. So the command here is tr followed by what you want to convert. I want to convert every tab into a different delimiter, probably a comma kind of thing, because comma is not there, I suppose. So in this particular thing, whether a comma is there by any chance, let us see. Uh, in case it is there, then we cannot use that particular thing. So it's not there. So we'll convert every tab into a comma kind of thing. So you say tr and then use a this particular thing, reverse slash t, right? And then what we call that is to be converted into a comma. And after that, read the data from this particular file. So you have to use the input redirect. This tr is a peculiar command. And then use like a pipe followed by less. Let us see whether are you getting this particular. So you can see here the output. All tabs are now changed to commas. 1 comma, player comma, runs comma, average comma, all. So this now you can actually store it into another file. T20 international summary with comma there. Summary with comma means record. Let us see here, probably like this, but a different name we are going to give it. So record with comma as a separator. So maybe I will just give one more C here, right? RECC kind of thing. So this is given. Now, and one more C here will give you in this particular fashion. So this is the output. So now we know that comma is a delimiter. For this, what we will do is we will use a sort command now. Sort command. So we are facing a trouble with how to select the tab there. That also will solve it later. But for the time being, minus T followed by a comma. Field separator is a comma now. And the field on which you want to sort is third field here. Somehow you are actually specifying. Let us see what it is going to do that. But the file name is now this particular. When you give like this, you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the field. 50.15. So after that, what are we getting? Probably it's not actually 1, 2, 3. 50.15. That we got it, but the other things are still not matching, actually, strictly speaking. 3 we are saying, right? It's not 4. 4 when you do this, now you can see, right, what is happening. 1, 2, 3, 4. 17.92. And then 18.97, then 19, 19.02, 19.15. The default sorting order is actually what I call the increasing order, right? So ascending order, that's what you really mean by. So it's doing that exactly, if you just pay attention to that particular thing. So 17, 18, and so on, that particular this thing. So it's going on. So anyhow, 22, and so on, like this. It's going on like this. So instead of sorting this based on the same, no doubt, but I want to see the best person, right, to be in the beginning. So you say minus R. So reverse the sense of comparison. Minus R. Sort on the fourth field, but in the reverse comparison. So when you do like this, again Virat Kohli is coming into the beginning with 52.65. The next person is 50.15, and then 47.36, 39.92, and so on like this. So the question now is, you can use the sort command to sort on any individual field in this particular manner by specifying minus K. K stands for key field. So you sort on a particular key, right? Like even in MySQL kind of thing, sort by a particular field. So here key is equal to 4 key. But the important thing is field separators must be properly mentioned. Minus P followed by comma you are. And sometimes whether you are interested in sorting this based on what we call based on the alphabetical sorting or number sorting, right? Better thing is actually whenever there are numbers, issue n there. Issue n. N in the sense numeric comparison. Don't do default comparison is string comparison. Instead of that, it's always better to use minus n like this. So when you do like this, then you are going to get a proper way. So now if you pay attention to this is the output you are getting. The header is no longer there, as you can see. Header might have gone to the end actually. 52.65. Whereas if you don't specify that what it is n there, right? Pay attention. So now you are actually seeing even the header there, because the header is considered to be the bigger value, because it is considering even this average. It is sorting this average with this particular thing, right? Whereas you consider that to be the number, then this value becomes 0 actually, so that it is going to the end. Whereas now this value is bigger. The reason is all your alphabets value, ASCII value is bigger than the ASCII value of the numbers, the digits and all that. That's why it is coming to the beginning there as a part of it. So anyhow, so minus n also is better whenever you want to use that particular thing. Now the question is, how are you going to specify to the sort command that I want to use a tab character there as a part of it? Are you all following what's going on? Right? I think that you are not asking anything indicates that you are following. But now, so my question now is how to instruct the sort command to consider tab as a delimiter. That's where we failed actually. So it is there in some way. We'll have to do that, and for that let me use sort delimiter tab. Tab, how to actually use. This is our question. Sorting a tab delimited file. So file based on column sort and all that. How to sort the 6th field of tab delimiters. So there are various ways based on column sort or whatever and all that. Let us see. So like this is there and all that. Sort dollar you have to put but I get illegal variable name error. Dollar, no. Dollar, you cannot. I think somewhere, yes, dollar is a possible thing. So, but let us see, like what it is going. He's actually right. So here he is giving sort minus t, dollar all that, sort minus t, dollar followed by this minus k file. If you are getting errors about dollar, then make sure your shell is back. Perhaps you are missing this particular thing. So all those questions. So dollar you have to put before that particular thing, essentially. Now we should be able to sort on the original file also, right? So let us actually see that how to sort on the original file. So this particular thing, right? So this is not sorting, it is tr grep sort. This is the one. So now minus t followed by dollar single quote reverse slash t. So these things are there. And then this is actually fourth field you are interested in sorting, and reverse the comparison so that you get the highest one first. Minus r. Numeric also we can always specify. Nothing wrong. So another T20 international and all. As you can see now, you are working on the original file, not on RECC, but REC itself. That contains the tabs there. So sort minus t, tab only, but before that a dollar. But these things, remember, earlier sort command syntax was different. So in fact, when I was very active about maybe 30 years back and all that. So just I am considering that, but this is actually newly made some changes to that and putting this dollar in front and all that. So anyhow, so those are the issues, no issue. So now, as you can see, Virat Kohli has come to the beginning, 52.65, 50.15, 47.36, and so on in that particular way. Right? So like this, so you must first define a problem and try to find the solution without this thing. To begin with, yes, small changes here and there so that you progress. But ultimately, you should not change the problem and all that. So we have changed earlier, like so that every tab to become a comma, so that we have verified, yes, it is a problem with the tab delimiter, how to do that. But you have understood how to sort on a particular field. But how to specify even tab as a delimiter is this particular. So essentially, you have to use dollar before that particular entity. That is the only limitation there of the sort command there as a part of it. And as you can see here, internet is the best teacher. Only thing is you should know about how to ask it, and you should know about like what is the question being asked and how to verify those things and so on in that particular this thing. So this is about sort, and it has got many more options in fact, which you can learn by using man sort or on the internet to see what's going on there and all that. That's one thing. Okay, so some more time, like some more commands probably we can try to learn. So there is a command called cp by which you can always copy the files. For example, cp followed by marks.txt. Let us say you want to copy this into another backup file, probably, right? And that backup file may be dot followed by back. Let us say, right? So you are copying. So syntax is simple: command cp followed by source file and then the destination. Now that you want to verify whether both of them are there or not and all that, so you can use -l followed by marks followed by, let us say, star, right? So it's going to expand this mark star is expanded to all the matching files. All the files starting with mark is going to be displayed again. So now if you see there, the file size is 59 characters, 59 bytes, both of them. And the dot back is newly created. It is created on April 27th, 940. Whereas marks.txt is the old one, created on April 21st. All those things are there. But how to know whether both of them contain the same data or not? Right? Do we have any support for that? So you have one such thing. There is a command called compare. You can compare two files whether both of them have the same data or not. Right? You have to specify both file names. So in fact, when you use the star there, it's going to expand that. Either you can give star here, but the star must be carefully used. And you can always specify, for example, text as well as backup. So like this, compare followed by file 1 and file 2. So you are asking it to compare whether both of them are contain the same. And this compare command can be used to compare any type of files. Compare text files, it can also compare raw data, binary files and all that. And whenever it doesn't say anything, it means that both of them contain the same data. If there is any problem with them, both of them not being the same, then it's going to report the first character where both of them are differing. Both of them are differing. There is another command also called as diff actually. DIFF, difference. This diff can be used only on text files, whereas CMP can be used on any file, in fact. So like this, we can specify. This also is saying everything is okay there. So it's silent, meaning that both of them contain the same data. Let us now add something more to marks.back. So there is a command called echo, right? Echo is a command which is going to echo whatever that you write, right? Last line, let us say, echo last line. It's going to echo that. It's going to just simply, whatever you type, it's going to be displayed, right? Whereas it's going to do many more things anyhow. It's not echo that's going to do it, but the shell is going to do actually. The shell is going to read your line and do a lot of like what it is, modifications to the line what you enter. The shell is going to execute the command, not directly whatever you have issued, but actually it's going to perform a lot of modifications. For example, you said marks there, right? MAR star. Echo Mars star. So what is that it is echoing? It's not echoing Mars star as it is, but actually what is happening is it's not echo that is echoing all this. The moment you enter echo Mars star, first the shell will read this line. After shell reading this line, it's going to perform number of substitutions. This file name substitution is one important thing. Path name substitution or file name substitution. So whenever you use a star like this, so it's going to look for in the current in the directory for all the files starting with MAR. So there is a file called marks.txt and all that. So this MAR star is replaced by these things, replaced by this data. And then echo is going to be executed on this. So echo will see this actually. Echo is going to get these things as the arguments, not as MAR star. Right? So that's why like a lot of substitutions happen there and all that particular thing. If you don't want a substitution for this, what it is, Mars star and all that, star should be displayed as star only, not as an expansion and all that. Then you can always use a reverse slash there. In which case, as you can see now, it is you are suppressing the expansion here. Mars star is echoing as it is. Anyhow. So we'll come to that expansion. There are many more things in the next class. But right now, I'm just trying to see last line here. And this now you want to append to an existing file. When you use a single greater than, it's going to overwrite onto that. That means the output of this command is going to be stored onto that particular file. So if you use double greater than, then it's going to append to that particular thing. So for example, it's not marks there, marks followed by back. I'm just now appending this last line also to the marks.back. Now you can see what is there in marks.back. The last line, as you can see there, is last line is there as a part of it. you have added. So there is a purpose why I am adding this. Now we know that marks.text is different from marks.back, right? Because this extra line is added to that particular thing. Even when you give ls minus l marks and all that, so you will see now these file sizes will be different naturally. 69 bytes are there in this, 59 bytes are there in this. Now when you compare, when you try to compare these two files or diff, for example, now you can see it is saying some output you are saying. That means greater than last line here, meaning that it is this data is there in the second file, but not in the first file. Greater than means second file, less than means first file. Right? So there are several other things. 5, append, 6. So that kind of stuff is actually giving. Anyhow, so whenever you see some output as a diff command, meaning that both of files contain different data. Similarly, you can also work on CMP. CMP also is going to report now that both the files are different. You can see that end of file on marks.txt after byte 59, line number 5. So the meaning of this is that it has reached the end of the file on marks.txt. Up to that, no problem. Up to that last line in marks.txt, both files contain the same data. But the other file, marks.back, contains some more data beyond that. So that's what is being talked about here. So whereas you give probably in a slightly different way, still are you going to get the same? We'll have to see that. Right? So like this you give it, still it is actually giving the same outcome anyhow, because both of them contain this thing. Whereas, let us say now, let me store echo. Here you specify first line, for example, or simply line also. Not into backup this thing, but rather into text this thing. Now you use CMP and this particular thing. Now you see the outcome is byte number 61, line number 6. So that means right up to line number 5 both contain the same data, but line number 6, byte number 61, both of them differ. Both of them differ. So that's how it's going to actually give you. Like instead of compare, you can always use diff also, and still. So what's going to happen? You can just take a look into that. So this is the likelihood. So CP can be used to copy files, but they have got many more options there by which you can copy one entire folder into another place, or you can copy a number of files into another folder, and so on like this. Try to actually learn the other things as well. If you want to rename a file, there is a command called move, MV. If you want to rename a file, change the file name. You want to change the file name, MV is the command. So after MV, you have to specify the existing file, and then what is the new file name that you want to give it. You can always specify that. So these things are there, and many more are there. It's very difficult to cover all the commands in a class like this, right? So that's why I'm asking all of you to actually start practicing and then come with the doubts. Then it becomes easy for me to clarify doubts on those things and so on. So if you want to do some kind of numerical calculations and all that, there is a command called BC, right? BC, bench calculator. There are two commands actually. One is dust calculator DC, bench calculator BC. So BC is going to be more easy for all of you to actually start using. So once you open this, now you can do all the calculations. What is 12 times 8? So it's going to say 96. I want to find out what is the value of such a big number multiplied by another very large number, right? It's going to give you the corresponding result straight away, which is not possible by using your normal languages like your C language and Java, where there is a limit, right, on the integer what is the biggest number that is possible there and all that. Even there you have some other libraries and all that, using which you can do this kind of big number arithmetic. So whereas BC is going to provide all these related stuff. So I don't know whether you have something called factorial and all that. It's not there here, but in some of the languages have, like Perl and all that particular thing, where it's possible. This operator is not there anyhow here. Not is not available straight away. So whenever you want to do the calculation like this, what we normally do is, right? So instead of going into that, right? So you want to find out what is, for example, you want to calculate right at the dollar prompt itself something. Straight away you cannot do that. Instead, what you can do is you send your expression as input to the BC. So for example, now what is 12 times, right? 8. What is 12 times 8? We pass this as an input to BC. We pass this as an input to BC. And then that should actually give you 96 there as a part of it. Right? So this is how echo is going to be helpful sometimes. So if you want to do something like, instead of multiplication, you want to add them, all this. Integer arithmetic is there even as a part of what you call the shell, which we will discuss later on. But the BC can perform even a real number arithmetic. For example, you say 12.76 and 0.98 kind of thing. It's going to give you all this. This is not possible. The floating point arithmetic is not possible in normal shell. It is possible by using this calculator called BC, bench calculator. All calculations you can always do in this particular manner. So this is about the calculation part, right? So any other questions that you would like to, either whatever that you are feeling? Any questions? So no response. Are you all learning everything? ఉన్నారా లేరా అక్కడ? Are you all there?
Yes, sir.
అంటే ఎందుకని, why do you actually hesitate to give the response? అన్నిసార్లు ఎందుకు అడిగించుకుంటారు? You have lost interest in the life, right? Then why do you attend the class to begin with? నేర్చేసుకుంటారు పోనీ, like maybe whenever you want a class, you can send me a mail, then we can have. Otherwise, we can skip that. Shall we follow like that? ఎలాగో క్లాస్ వలన పెద్ద ఉపయోగం లేకపోతే ఎందుకు ఇది, అలా చేద్దామా? Yes, no. What is the answer? Not an issue లేదు. Like if you want a class, we can have it. Otherwise, timetable ఎలాగో నేను I will just inform at the department, right? Because all of them are B.Tech background, so they have all studied in B.Tech all these subjects. Just to have their PG, probably they have joined. Why to trouble them? We will conduct the exams and award the marks. Shall we go like that?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
If you want like that, we can. So for me, there is no issue as such. So we have seen TR there. TR is a translate, which can be used to translate or translate every character to some other character. It has got many purposes there. Like you also try to practice that TR, right? The syllabus is there, like by which what are the various exercises that you have to do it. Go into that anyhow. So, for example, students file is there. Students file. So the names are there and all that particular thing, as you can see. So if you want to convert a very small letter to capital letter kind of thing, so you can do that. TR translate, and then you have to specify the which characters to be translated. So you can give even a hyphen there, meaning that right from character A, right up to character Z, all ASCII characters from small a to small z. That's what you mean by all ASCII characters from small a to small z must be converted into capital A to capital Z. Probably like this you can specify. So a to small z is from. You are translating from small a to small z into, right, capital A to capital Z. And then you can specify the corresponding file name. But TR is so designed, badly designed, that it cannot read the file names from the command line argument. So when you give like this, so it's saying extra operand something and all that as such. It always reads only data from the standard input. It cannot read the data from a particular file. So that's why you have to specify here a redirection less than. So you are asking the TR command to read the data from the file students.txt. Right? So without using this less than, it doesn't work. Whereas the other commands like a cat, cut and all those things, they are designed such that they can read the data from the standard input, and they can also read the data from the files whose file names are provided in the command line argument. Whereas TR doesn't work like that. So now if you see TR, small a to small z, translate every small a to small z into capital A to capital Z. Right? Like this, you can always do that. But if you want to translate only, let us say, all what you call AEIOU, you want to translate them into corresponding AEIOU. Right? Then you will see like all vowels are converted into their uppercase, this thing. So like this, you can do many other possibilities by going through man page related to TR. You should be able to understand about how to go by and all that. So a lot of encryption, decryption can also be possible. So you can encrypt your data so that uh, so such kind of things are possible there as a part of it. For example, you say every small a to small z, convert everything. So now every a should become b, b should become c, and so on. Y should become z, and z should become a, let us say. So in such a case, how you can specify is b hyphen b to z, right? B to z. Remember, the number of characters in the from set should match with the number of characters in the to set, because everything, what you are saying is, first character in the from set should become the first character in the to set. That is the logic. So A becomes B, B becomes C, and so on. Y becomes Z. Only 25 only are given in the two set. You have to give one more. So what needs to be done for Z is not specified, but Z should become A. Like this, you can actually specify. Now, what is going to happen is it's going to encrypt now. So when you see some logic, simple logic, you see there all the names, you can't make any sense out of them. because all the small letters only, capital letters are still there anyhow. So A has become B. So that means if you want to get back this particular data, right, back into that, you have to perform the other way. So for example, this now you can store it into encryption, right? Probably you say ENC. This is the encrypted data. So when you give this particular data to somebody, they can't make any sense out of those things. So like this, some junk names are going to be there as a part of it. But if you want to get back that particular thing, you apply the reverse logic. You apply the reverse logic. As you can see now, you are now going to read from the encrypted text. But what is to be done? You have to now convert every B to become A, right? Every B should become A. So you have to specify A hyphen Z. Because the encryption we have made A to become B, decryption what is to be done? B should become back to A. So B becomes A, C becomes B, and so on. Z becomes Y. And A is going to become Z. So you are doing the reverse now. This is what is called as decryption. Right? So TR can be used like this also. As you can see now, you are using now the encrypted file, but you are generating the original data back by using like this. So there are many more like this. Like you can take any number of classes on these things. But the question is, you must have interest to learn those things and so on. So right now 10 o'clock. So probably we'll stop at this stage, and next class we'll start with what it is, shell programming kind of thing. Slowly we will introduce to that particular thing. So try to practice and at least listen to the class and answer the questions that are asked, only to give some kind of interest so that something more I feel like teaching. Otherwise we can, as I am saying, the other way, right? We can always, no issue for me, like but there may be some little learning for me also, like whatever I have forgotten, or there are some little changes, as you have seen just now for sort, how to use the tab. So there is a small thing, but all of you need to actually use the internet very effectively for learning purpose, right? How to ask a question, how to use that, how to verify whether that's correct or not. All these things are the required skills to a modern student. Okay, so next class we'll see, unless you have any specific questions.